I was losing money head over heels. I didn't know half the stuff I knew that I know now, and just kind of looking at my life thinking how far I've come, and I'm in a position now where I'm teaching people. That is a big responsibility. People are putting trust in me, they're putting their money in me, they're putting their trust in me to teach them a skill that potentially could lose them a lot of money. And if I don't do it right, they will just lose money.
So, for anyone that doesn't know who you are, can you just tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm Hasan Arif. I'm a full-time trader. I currently have my own company, 364FX, where I also mentor people, take them through a training program, one-to-one mentoring. And yeah, been trading for around 5 years now, solid. I've say I'm been full-time for about 3 years now, and it's my primary income. I do investing as well into properties. So that's me as a whole.
Okay. And did you get into investing in properties before or after your trading?
So the properties were around the same sort of time. I started investing in properties, and that gave me a bit of a taste for investing and making money almost work for me rather than me work for money. So then I looked into other income streams, how I could potentially make my money work for me, and Forex and trading, sort of stocks and shares were what primarily come up when I was searching for additional income, passive income. So my journey kind of head over to the trading side of things when I was roughly investing in my first property that I bought. And obviously the property was what gave me a taster for trading.
And how did you learn trading? Like, what did you do first when you first started?
Well, I think what everyone does really, search on the net, look for how to trade, ways to trade. I mean, YouTube is a prime example. I think everyone goes to YouTube to look for strategies, look what Forex is, how to trade. And then searching on YouTube, I come across a few people, some better than others. And there was one specific set of videos that really stood out to me, was some of Jason Greystone's videos. So I started to kind of follow his stuff along with Akil Stokes as well, which is his partner. I started following a lot of their videos, and they primarily were the ones that I kind of gelled to, and I thought, you know what, these guys are good, and these guys teach it in a way that I understand. So I went and tried to contact them and find out more and go on their courses and things. And luckily, Jason Greystone had a competition, and his competition was to teach 5 members privately, one-to-one. And I won the competition from Jason, and then he gave me one-to-one private tuition on basically how to trade. So that is where my actual journey of testing and learning properly how to trade with risk management and psychology and all that sort of stuff that goes into trading, I think really took off. Whereas before that, it was literally just putting money in the market and trying to make a few quid here and there, not knowing that you could actually short the market as well as buy the market. I was literally thinking it was like stocks and shares where you just buy and hold. And I
Yeah.
didn't realize Forex was completely different. You know, it's a whole different ball game.
So do you think that every new trader should do a course like that can give them the exposure to someone that is currently trading profitably?
100%, 100%. I mean, courses are great. I think there's a fine line. A course is good if you've already got a foundation. So if you understand about trading, you know pretty much what it entails, what you got to do, then having a course is good because it can polish you up on what you don't know, and also give you insight to other maybe strategies, a bit of money management, psychology. But I think for a new trader, someone that doesn't really have that foundation, I think you're better off with a course that comes with a mentor. Don't just take a course on its own without any mentorship, because sometimes people, what they do is they rush the course and they'll go straight to the strategy and think, you know what, let's skip the foundation, or let's skip money management, or let's skip trade plan development, and they'll literally go straight to the strategy, learn the strategy and start trying to trade it. So I think, yes, definitely find yourself a course, but also look for a course that comes with mentorship. I think the mentorship is more important than having the course on its own.
Yeah. So since completing the mentoring with Jason, how has your trading changed?
Okay, so when I started, when I finished with Jason, I started trading full time. It was going well. It was going very well. But as a trader, I think, well, every trader I know always develops and not necessarily changes their system, but you change according to your lifestyle. Your lifestyle changes. You might want to trade different ways, maybe swing trading. You could go into scalping. Strategies, you find strategies that suit you a lot better. So as I become full time and I was sitting at my desk more and trading more, I found that I wanted to trade slightly different. I wanted to be more of a day trader, and I wanted to be sort of in and out within the day. Whereas before, I was more of a swing trader. I was trading on the higher time frames.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
went onto tweaking what I already knew. So I was trading advanced patterns, harmonic patterns, these like your bats and your Gartleys, ciphers, them sort of patterns. And I went on to more structure-based trading, looking at support resistance, trend continuation, counter trend trading. I started looking at this style of trading because I found it suited me better, and on top of it, I could use it on all different time frames as well. So if I wanted to scalp, I could use it as a scalp. I could do day trading. If I wanted to, I could use it as a swing trade. If I wanted to cut back a bit, if I had other stuff going on. So I developed into that. I started looking more structure based, more clean charts, less indicators, and really just look at price action. And since then, I've literally just been like a price action trader.
And how long did it take you to develop that strategy since the mentoring?
Wow. So after the mentoring, I think I went on for about a year trading the patterns. And then after the year, I think it took me, because I already had good foundations and I understood about trend and support resistance,
Yeah.
structure levels, price levels. It didn't take me long. It just took me, I'd say about 3 months or 3 to 4 months of testing, making sure that my adjustment into structure-based trading was right, and that I, potentially going forward, I would be profitable. If anything, the same as the patterns or more. I didn't want it to be less. So it took me about 3 months of just making sure everything was right, tweaking, making sure that my risk to reward was good, making sure my money management was correct. And then I slowly started switching over. So I was doing a bit of structure-based trading as well as the harmonics. And then I slowly just let go of the harmonics and blended into the structure-based trading. So yeah,
Right.
it took me a year after my mentorship, and then about another 3 to 4 months after a year of doing just advanced patterns.
Right, yeah. So what does your average day look like then? Because you said that obviously you can trade different time frames depending on what your lifestyle is.
Yeah, so because I started 364FX, I've got private clients which I teach one-to-one basis. All my clients I teach on, like, for example, Zoom or Skype, 1 to 2 hour lessons a day. So now my trading is primarily early in the morning. So I'll get to the charts, let's say anything from 6 to 7 in the morning, and by about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, I'm done for the day. So I look at time frames, roughly 1 hour time frames, 30-minute time frames. Sometimes I look at the 15-minute, but it's mainly the 1 hour, 30-minute I look. And I try to get that London open in the morning. That is where I'll find a lot of the volatility, and I'll get that push, that momentum I need for the day to accelerate my trades.
Mm.
And then the rest of the day is in, teaching clients, doing stuff in my community chat. If there's any stuff the clients want, document wise, I get them all ready and that sort of stuff. So yeah, my trading is now day trading, early morning, 3 to 4 hours in the morning, and I'm set for the day, really. I don't swing trade. I don't really like holding overnight over weekends. I used to, but now I just like to take my 1 to 2 trades in the morning, and I'm done.
Yeah, nice. So do you trade just Forex or do you trade anything else?
No, just Forex. Just trade some of the majors.
Yeah,
I've got about 5 or 6 pairs I look at, and then I'll look at some of the pairs that the clients throw in that they're looking at. So obviously I'll look at them pairs as well, just to help them out and give them my opinion and coaching on what they're seeing as well. No, it's all Forex. Don't look at no cryptos, no stocks, nothing like that really.
right, yeah. So do you have what's like your long-term goals or vision for 364FX?
So my long-term goals, so I've got a few clients in there at the moment which are pretty much near the end of their mentorship. They're doing really well, and they're actually taking tests with FTMO
Right,
to become funded traders. So they've literally just started their tests for them. So what I'm planning on doing is, once they pass, or anyone in my program passes, ideally what I want to do is grow it and make them mentors as well. So then they can either help me with the business to grow it, or if they want to go on to do other stuff, like have their own mentorship programs, if they want to open, their own companies. So I just want to kind of build 364FX to a level where I've got clients coming in, and potentially they've got option of being mentored by a group of people and not just myself. And I've got a lot of willing clients at the moment that are really looking forward to getting on that sort of a journey and that sort of a level.
mm.
And these are people that have come from not understanding how to trade, how to place a trade, to now taking something like an FTMO test and potentially becoming mentors themselves as well.
Well, that's really good. So what have you found from your mentoring makes a profitable trader?
Consistency and discipline. I can't stress how important it is to not only have a system that works, but one that's tested by whoever's going to trade it. A lot of people take these systems and they don't test them, they don't see if they work. But then when they get them, they're not consistent with them. They don't let it run through the motions. They don't take the same setup day in, day out, and they'll jump from one thing to another. Now, I was a culprit for this. I used to do this all the time. I had what they call shiny object syndrome. I was always looking for uh, this system, that system, what can make me more money, what had a higher win percentage, all this type of stuff. And I was jeopardizing my trading. Why? Because I was never consistent and I was never disciplined. So now teaching, that is one of the things I really drum into people is when they're having a bad day or bad week, which you're going to get, you're not always going to be profitable every day, every week. Me being there, giving them that boost to say, listen, stick with the plan, stick with your system, keep going, be disciplined. You know that you'll come out of it, or you know that you've had some amazing weeks up until now. Just carry on. It's that discipline, that consistency that I found people lack, and I think is the most important part of teaching anyone about the Forex markets.
So from teaching people, is there one person that stands out for a good or bad reason?
Okay, so let's start with someone new. When I get a lot of messages on Instagram saying, can you teach me? For starters, I can generally tell when people haven't got the commitment to learn because it's a long process and they want a quick fix. They just want a strategy, they just want to get on with it, they just want to trade it, and they're not willing to be mentored properly and learn the foundations. You can generally tell because these people just message you going, do you do signals, or can you teach me? And when I say yes, they turn around and go, okay, what's the strategy? Or, you know, the minute I give my prices and say this is the mentorship program, I never hear from them. They literally don't reply back. So then people, you know, I don't know what they're looking for. I don't really want to work with them type of people. I want people that are committed, that are really going to put in the effort and understand they're not going to get rich quick. It's going to take time. It's going to take, you know, anything from 3 to 6 months to a year of dedication. It depends on the client, how quick they learn to get to grips with it. But as far as my client base goes, there is a couple of people that really stand out to me. And for example, one of them, amazing skill set. You know, love the way he trades, love the way he explains things. I just think has got a lot of potential. I think if someone can break down a chart and explain to, you know, to the last detail what it is they're looking for and why they're getting into a trade without hesitation, to me, that is going to be a good trader. If you're umming and ahhing about your trade, it means you've still got work to do.
Yeah.
So that's what stands out to me, is when someone can literally straight away say to me, this is why I've entered, this is what I'm looking for, and this is where my target stops are going to go, and this is how much I'm risking because of XYZ. That's what stands out to me. That really, you know, that's what I like to see in a client.
Yeah. So you've just mentioned a student or someone that stood out to you. Do you have one trade that stands out to you for a good or bad reason?
One that I've taken or the client?
Either.
One specific trade that I've got a bad trade that stood out to me, and I'll never ever forget this. Good trades, they're always here and there. I think the bad ones are what really stand out to you. when I was swing trading and I was doing the advanced patterns, um, my testing was really good. I really had good results, and I was sticking to the plan. I was being disciplined. But there was one thing that the testing never really prepared me for, and that was gaps in the market. That was slippage. I never really incorporated that into my testing. So I was in two trades. I can't remember what pairs they were, but I was in two advanced patterns, and I took them on a Friday morning. I held them over the weekend. I risked my risk was about 1% on both trades. So overall, I was risking about 2%. Monday morning, well, Sunday night opened, early hours of the morning, and the gap was huge when it opened, and I actually lost an overall percentage of about 6%.
Wow.
From having 2% risk, I lost 6% overall. And when I looked at my trade, and then I looked at where it where it opened and potentially closed me out, I had this sick feeling inside. I was like, oh my God, what just happened there? And that really kind of gave me a little bit of a bad taste on would I say swing trading? I don't know, because swing trading is very profitable, but definitely holding trades over a weekend or overnight, now it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. So now I like to ideally close my trades within the day if I possibly can. I do hold them sometimes overnight, but it's very rare. And that is one specific scenario that really stands out to me. And a client of mine had a very similar experience. They took a trade. This was actually beginning of this week just gone. Took a trade, was in profit, and next thing they looked and they were stopped out, and they couldn't realize why. And that was because at 10 o'clock at night the spreads widened, and the spread actually knocked him out of his trade. And
Wow.
he was actually quite he couldn't understand it. He didn't understand why that happened, why the spread went so much. So I prepped him on it. I spoke to him. I explained to him, listen, did you look at spreads? Was it 10 o'clock at night? This and that, this and that. And we spoke about it. And now he's aware of that. And he makes adjustments according to whether the trade's going to be held overnight or not. And he avoided one, I think it was Thursday. He avoided the same thing happening on Thursday, and it turned out to be a winning trade. So there's two scenarios, one good and one bad, that stand out to me. One more recent, and I'll never forget that.
Yeah, I've never actually heard of that before, of where someone's been stopped out just because of the spread widening. Yeah, I've never actually thought of that either.
Yeah, if you've got especially scalpers will find this more of a problem, because they've got really tight stops. 10 o'clock at night, well, UK time, when you'll see the spreads will widen. If your stop is too tight, that spread will just tip you out. And it can be a pain. It can be a real pain.
Yeah. So carrying on with the kind of what stands out, have you had 1 year that stands out for a good or bad reason?
I think last year stood out to me because it was when I started the company. It was June last year, yeah. And that was when I was really in the swing of everything. Now I'm just consistent and I'm teaching, but that was when I made the transition from being a trader to a mentor. And once I set up the company and I started getting the clients in, it got to a few months after, and I sat back and I said to myself, wow, sort of 5 to 6 years ago, I was losing money head over heels. I didn't know half the stuff I knew um, that I know now. And just kind of looking at my life thinking how far I've come, and I'm in a position now where I'm teaching people. That is a big responsibility. People putting trust in me, they're putting their money in me, they're putting their trust in me to teach them a skill that potentially could lose them a lot of money. And if I don't do it right, they will just lose a lot of money going forward. So it's my responsibility as a person now to make them profitable. And that really kind of hit me in a way to say, wow, give myself a pat on the back. I've done an amazing job. So last year was not so much because of profits that I made, but because of what I achieved in my own personal trading journey.
Yeah. But so was it a difficult process for you to become a profitable trader?
Yeah, I mean, with what I said to you before in regards to the shiny object syndrome,
Yeah.
that was my worst habit, if you like. It was almost like I don't want to say an addiction, but it was like I had a problem. I was never happy with what I had. I always wanted that bit better. I always wanted the higher percentage return. I always wanted, the kind of 100% win rate, which was never going to come. I was just chasing it, constantly chasing it. And I then realized it's nothing to do with win percentage. It's nothing to do with win rate. It's all to do with being consistent in just one system. I mean, there's so much out there that works, but it's about being consistent with it. And until I actually said to myself, you know what, Has, enough is enough. You just need to stick to one thing and just get on with it. That is, when I made a change, and it did take me a long time. Even though I went through the mentorship program, I was still doing it a little bit in the background. Yeah, I was trading my advanced patterns, but I was still Googling and I was still looking at stuff, and I was still looking at, I don't know, double tops, double bottoms, Bollinger Band trading, Fibonacci trading,
Yeah.
MACDs, and I was still looking, I was still thinking, how can I improve on what I've got? And the reality is, you don't need to improve, you just need to be consistent.
Yeah. So if you could give one piece of advice to a new trader, what would it be? And I'm pretty sure it would be something like you've just said.
Yeah, pretty much. So a new trader, please don't go to these Instagram posts where all you see is cars, monies, Rolexes, and follow their signals, please. Because if them companies stop, what's going to happen to you? You're going to have to stop. So find a reputable company, someone that's got good reviews, and go through a mentorship program. Okay, the consistency and the discipline will come further down the line. So I'm not going to say be consistent and disciplined now, but get yourself a mentor. You don't have to pick me, you can pick anyone you want. If you come to me, great, fantastic, but pick anyone, someone that's got good reviews, someone that has got clients that have gone through their program and are now consistently profitable, and follow their rules. There's a reason why they're making money and they're consistent. So follow their rules, stick to their rules, and don't go on YouTube looking for this system, that system, this system. Just ground yourself, take a course as if you would if you wanted to be a plumber, an electrician, an engineer, a doctor. You wouldn't go and learn off YouTube, okay? You would take a course, you would pay good money for it, and you would go through the process. And that is my advice to any new trader.
Yeah. So what would you give in terms of advice to someone that struggles with that discipline and the patience with trading that plan?
First things first, I would say, have you done your back testing? Okay, have you tested the system and does it make money? If the answer is no, then I know they're struggling with discipline and consistency because they haven't tested their plan. They don't know the ups and downs of it. They don't know when they're going to have a drawdown or when they're going to have a winning streak. I mean, that's never 100% predictable when it's going to happen, but at least you know your drawdown is X amount on an average. Okay, so you can expect that sort of thing. If they have done their back testing, then I would just try basically give them a bit of like help their psychology to get through it. So like one of my clients is going through a drawdown at the moment, and their psychology goes, they get upset about it, they beat themselves up about it, but yet when they're having 2 to 3 weeks worth of winning consistent wins, they're buzzing, they're so happy. So it's about looking at when you're having a good time. It's about when you're making that money, think about how you feel, and yet what was you doing during that time? Yeah, was you consistent? More than likely you was. So in that case, as long as you stay consistent now and you keep trading the plan and the system, you will then come out of your drawdown and you will be consistent, and that will give you the confidence to carry on with your system.
So do you have, when you're trading, I guess it's kind of going off of the advice for the new traders, but do you have any routines?
Yes, I have a routine. So in the mornings, I like to get up at least an hour before I'm going to sit at my charts. I make sure I wake myself up properly. So, go have my shower, have my coffee, have 5 minutes to myself before I'm actually going to go to the chart. So I know that I'm fully awake. Then what I like to do is, before I even check the charts, I like to look at the news for the day, see if there's any news releases coming out, anything that's going to affect my potential trading day. Send that into the group chat. Make sure that the clients are prepped for the day so they know if there's any news coming out, to make sure they're aware of it. Then I start doing my analysis. So I'll go through my pairs. I'll go through my different time frames. I'll get my bias on the market, see if there's anything setting up that follows my rules. And then after that, I'll just literally sit back and wait for the setups to come to me. And while I'm waiting, I'll be chatting with the group members because they will be in the charts at that sort of time. And that keeps me disciplined as well, because we roughly clock off all at the same time. We're all pretty much done roughly the same time. There are some that trade in the evenings and stuff. And then at 10 o'clock, around sort of 9:30, 10 o'clock, I know it's cut-off time for me. So I cut off, I turn off, I go and have a break. I go and spend time with the family for an hour, maybe have something to eat with them. And then I'll come back to the charts and start doing my sessions. So my day is very structured. It's the same routine pretty much every day, Monday to Friday.
Yeah, having the consistency in your life is helping with the consistency in the trading, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the mentoring side of things, that's kept me very disciplined in my day-to-day routine, because I've got the clients. I know that I've got to give them time and I need to do things with them, so it makes me structure my day out. It makes me plan my day in a way where my routine is very disciplined in what I need to do.
Yeah.
And I think without that, I don't think I would be as disciplined, or not. I would be disciplined in my trading, but I wouldn't have a set routine that is disciplined in what I do every day.
Yeah. And you mentioned that you have a look at the news and you post that into the group, do you trade using any fundamentals at all?
No, the fundamentals are mainly to keep me out of trades. So if there's news releases that are going to affect maybe the dollar or the euro, then I know to not either place a trade just before that news event and wait a bit after till the news event has been released and I let the market do what it's doing. Or if I'm in a trade, to manage it. So if it's going to be a big news event, some sort of unemployment rates, GDP, something like that, if I'm in profit, I can potentially move to break even and try to secure from getting stopped out. Or maybe if I'm in a slight loss, close it. It depends. It depends on the news release. It depends how much I think it's going to impact my trade, how big my stop is, if there's enough room for maybe the market to do what it wants to do and then come back. It all depends on the scenario. So what I do is I use fundamentals to help me from not getting stopped out, from not risking money I shouldn't be risking, almost taking a gamble at that specific time.
Yeah. And do you trade using any algos at all, or is it all just manual?
No, all manual.
Right.
Yeah, all manual.
Okay. So the final question is, from all of your experience and everything you've just said, what's some non-conventional advice that you would give to a trader who wants to succeed?
There's some advice that I've seen people kind of putting out there is in regards to risk management. How you can't make money risking, let's say, 1 to 1.5 or 0.5% of your account, and you have to risk 5 to 10% per trade, something like that. To me, that's a big hinder. That is, I don't like that, because the risk of you blowing an account is really high. So I think people need to be a little bit aware of people that are risking high amounts per trade to make big gains. Okay.
Yeah.
That is something you don't see a lot of, but it does happen. I'm positive. I think also in a positive, this is positive to me but negative to people, is if someone's telling you it's going to take you a good year or so of dedication to become consistent, people don't like to hear that. Okay, and not a lot of people would give that advice and say it will take time. It can even take you up to 3 years, 4 years of dedication to become consistent.
Yeah.
This, I think, is a non-conventional way of giving advice of people saying, this is the truth. This is how it is. People don't want to hear that.
Yeah.
They want quick fixes. They just want to say, yeah, I can make you rich in 3 months, 2 months, 2 weeks. It's not the way.
Yeah. So is there anything else that you'd like to say? And also, where can people find you?
Okay, so people can find me. I've got a website, www.364fx.com. It's currently been revamped at the moment, so if you go on there, you might come to a holding page, but it should be ready by the end of this week. Or Instagram is the main place, so 364fx on Instagram. I've got a YouTube channel as well, which I'm starting to build up. So again, 364fx. But Instagram's the main place if you want to reach out to me, follow some of the work I'm doing. That's where to reach out to me. And sorry, what was your other question?
Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
Yeah, just thank you for having me on your podcast. Thank you for reaching out to me and letting me be on here. I've listened to some of your work. It's really good. I'm enjoying your podcasts.
Thank you. yeah, so thanks for coming on as well.